In this lesson, you will learn how to create tests for row-by-row data comparisons from single and multiple data sources to target, with structured, semi-structured, and message data. Row-by-row comparisons are needed because often there are business requirements to compare two datasets after moves and transformations. Therefore, it is necessary to compare every row and cell of data. Row-by-row comparisons allow the comparison of two systems against each other. This can be files or databases. It is important to note that this is the slowest way of testing and should not be the first option. Vital checks and field tests should be carried out first to validate completeness and business rules, as they are much faster and don't read the entire dataset. In our Medicare example, we can now focus on our row-by-row comparisons to ensure all our data landed correctly in Snowflake. For our training, we will cover these 4 use cases in our environment using these 3 out-of-the-box modules. However, we can cover all customer use cases with our complete set of data integrity modules. In order to create row-by-row comparison tests, we select a data integrity folder, come to the ribbon and select row-by-row comparison. This uses the standard module, which will cover the majority of our scenarios. You can see we have a source, a target, different connector types, column, cell, and row options. And then at the end, if I expand this bottom, you'll see we also have some reporting. The reporting will be covered in the next lesson. I'll jump over to our existing examples, and if I select my first one, it's local CSV file to Snowflake database. We want to test that our data has landed correctly, and we can compare this from the original CSV file. We select our connector as file, it's a local file, our options with column separator. You can see we have first row contains the header. We could remap column names if naming has changed from source to target simply by typing it in. In my case, we had a double quotes that appeared in Snowflake. Instead of remapping every column name, I simply used some built-in transformations to go and say, trim out all the double quotes from all the headers. These are very useful to take care of transformations without having to write SQL queries. If I scroll through here, you can see there's a number of different options. If I scroll a little further down, you can see my target is a database, and you can connect either through the connector, the same as the wizard, or you can point directly to your DSN. If I double click on the test step, the Sql Editor will be enabled. My source is a file, so my target will allow me to write my queries in the editor, run them, and the query that I write here will translate into my test. Any transformations can also be added into your actual SQL query that are not covered out of the box with the model. If I scroll a little further down, you can see some more options. I'll expand the report, and I just wanted to point out the tolerances that are also built in. So if you have a column of numerical values, you can also add an accepted tolerance. If we go to our next example, we're going to compare the data from SQL Server to Snowflake. We've pointed to our SQL Server instance, selected all the data, and if we scroll down, you can see the same options have been applied, except now it's 2 databases. You can see there's also the row key, which says all source columns, and you can add your own separated by semicolon. Another option is unstructured data. Let's have a look at our JSON file. This is a JSON file with different parameters, and if I scroll down, you can see all the different data. Tosca will load this up into our caching database and create tables out of all these structures you see here. If I collapse this, let's go to our JSON file. We first need to load the file up. This will normalize the file into a database, into a number of tables. You can then use, instead of pointing to the file itself, we can point to the caching database and look at the data from there and join all the files created based on the actual structure of the XML or JSON file, and then use it to run your row-by-row comparisons against other data sources. The last one we have here is an example of how we can load data from multiple data sources into our caching database, and then we point to our caching database as our source and compare to a target. So as you can see here, if I expand, Here's my caching database. I've joined all my different tables from my multiple sources together, applied different cell options. In this case, I did have to remap column names from source to target because the names were different. I did some trimming and then compared it to my target, which is another database. The final thing we need to do is, once we've created all our tests, if there's any reuse, we can still create templates out of this. This is extremely important when it comes to maintaining long, complex SQL queries. So now, instead of having to go through your long queries, you can parameterize them, as I've done here, for files and databases, and that way when changes occur, you don't have to come into the actual different queries to maintain them. You can actually have all of that maintained in a data sheet. As you can see here, I have different data sources I've loaded up and parameterized them, so I now can come to the data sheet to make any updates. And then when it comes to the reconciliation, my queries are managed within the data sheet, as well as any transformation and remapping of tables, as we can see over here. So it's all the data from the actual test simply parameterized so that I can now maintain it in my data sheets. We can create reusable libraries and share this across other data sheets to have a single point of maintenance.